Amazonian dark earths and the prehistoric built landscape. In Amazonia, human occupation and interaction within the environment is thought to have taken place since at least the terminal Pleistocene, about 11,000 years ago. This dynamic region has been the focus of many discussions concerning the built landscape, environmental determinism, and the myth of the noble savage, among others. Over the past few decades, progress has been made in addressing these issues inherent of generalizing over the dispersed pre-contact populations that have, or so the story goes, known little cultural complexity due to the ecological constraints of a tropical wilderness. Unfortunately, these opinions are derived from dated research that was neither utilizing the appropriate scope for these questions nor strengthened by the techniques we have today, as researchers in the area expose more evidence pointing towards the potential benefits through altering their landscape, which allows for the establishment of complex social order and sustains greater numbers. It's becoming overwhelmingly clear that human activity prior to the time of contact by Portuguese explorers in the 16th century permeated the landscape on a vast and unrecognized scale. Perhaps the early accounts by the first riverine expeditions into the interior are not all that exaggerated. As time progresses, it seems that a picture of prehistoric land use and the nature of Amazonian settlements comes into focus that excludes dated concepts, such as the pristine virgin forest, among the aforementioned themes that have been wrongly accepted as the case in pre-Columbian South America. Prior to contact, Amazonia was a major center of crop domestication, with at least 83 native species containing populations domesticated to some degree. Plant domestication is very apparent throughout the landscape, including signs of the highly modified Amazonian dark earths associated with large settled populations that may cover greater than 0.1% of the region. That's about 20,000 square miles of land characterized by anthropogenic soils, earthworks, and other signs of activity with low visibility, much of which has not been extensively surveyed. Populations and food production expanded rapidly within land management systems in the mid-Holocene, and complex societies expanded in resource-rich areas, creating domesticated landscapes with profound impacts on local and regional ecology. These are the cultural forests that have become popular in the archaeological literature in the past 4 years. Food production projections support estimates of at least 8 million people in 1492. This is beyond the imagination of many before the modern era in archaeology. As Michael Heckenberger from the University of Florida and others have vied for in more recent years, the ability to transform the landscape is closely linked in the New World with dense settlement patterns. These are the features of dense and hierarchical societies, also those deemed culturally advanced. Betty Meggers, on the other hand, has long advocated for a more ecologically determined viewpoint in the pre-Cabrerline Amazon, as poor soils led, in her mind, to sparse occupation density and a lower social complexity. This was in 1954. Her contributions were best summed up in what is considered by many to be her magnus opus, Amazonia, Man and Culture in a Counterfeit Paradise, where her main argument centered on the Amazon's luxurious vegetation concealing significant limitations for human exploitation, placing a ceiling on pre-Columbian population density and social complexity. This is a hallmark of the environmental determinism in early American archaeology, where humanity's trajectory is defined by access to the local flora, fauna, and geography. While not only discounting our own agency in prehistory, some have described these narratives as being outright racist. This controversial view has implications for academic anthropology and also relates to the modern development of Amazonia, including attempts to introduce sustainable methods of intensive exploitation. So, what exactly constitutes as an Amazonian dark earth? Terra preta, or literally black soil, in Portuguese, is a type of very dark, fertile, and man-made, or anthropogenic, soil found throughout the Amazon basin. In Portuguese, its full name is Terra Preta, or Terra Preta de Indio, literally black soil of the Indian. Terra Preta owes its characteristic black color to its weathered charcoal content, and was made by adding a mixture of charcoal, bone, and manure to the otherwise relatively infertile Amazonian soil, the common acrosols, ferrosols, and arenasols. These traditionally available soils were more prone to nutrient leaching. Terra Preta soils are of pre-Columbian nature and were created by these groups between about 450 before the Common Era and 950 before the Common Era. This darkened charcoal, a product of indigenous soil management and slash and char agriculture, is very stable and remains in the soil for thousands of years, binding and retaining minerals and nutrients. It has been reported to regenerate itself at a rate of about 1 meter per centimeter by the local farmers in Brazil's Amazonian basin, who seek it today for use and for sale as valuable potting soil. Absent this deeper understanding of the human-impacted ecology, it's not difficult to see just why Meggers and others believed larger groups couldn't be sustained. Through these innovations, larger settlements could form and prosper. Whatever they would have built for residences or other structures are lost to time due to the lacking stone around Amazonia for more suitable materials. However, their legacy and presence lives on through the geoglyphs, anthropogenic soils, and the rich cultural traditions still alive and well, though they remain rather threatened by deforestation and development in the modern era.
Huturungua ahajawa intiwaska kuriwaska chagrupan